The phone line crackled, static filling the dead air before a frantic voice broke through. "There's been an accident. She's not breathing." The dispatcher's tone sharpened. "Sir, I need you to stay calm. What's your location?" Silence. "Sir, hello?" The call ended. No location, no identification, just a single, chilling phrase hanging in the air. Somewhere in the city, a woman was dying, or already dead. Red and blue lights reflected off the glass facade of Kensington Financial's towering headquarters. The building stood eerily quiet, its lobby dimly lit, its corridors stretching into silence. Detective Mark Ellison stepped inside, the scent of iron thick in the air. "Over here," an officer called, standing near an executive office. The room was a wreck. A shattered vase, an overturned chair, and a dark pool of blood slowly seeping into the plush carpet. But no sign of a struggle, no sign of forced entry, no sign of Emily Foster. Ellison exhaled, scanning the space. Something violent had happened here, but where was the body? Emily Foster, 28 years old, a promising secretary at Kensington Financial, was missing. Her phone sat untouched on her desk. Her purse slumped on the chair. Her car remained parked in the company lot, but she was nowhere to be found. "You sure she didn't leave on her own?" Officer Carter asked, thumbing through an empty notebook, looking for answers where there were none. Ellison shook his head. "You don't leave your phone, your bag, and—" He gestured toward the bloodstains. "You don't leave that much behind unless someone takes you." A cold dread settled over him. Had she run? Had she been taken? Or had someone already disposed of her body? Whispers spread through the office, quiet but unmistakable. "She worked closely with him," someone murmured. "She was in all his late-night meetings." It was more than that. One name came up again and again: Vincent Kensington, the CEO, a man of wealth, power, and influence who had built an empire with a carefully curated reputation. The detectives requested an interview. "Mr. Kensington is unavailable for questioning at this time." His assistant responded smoothly, her voice practiced, detached. Ellison exchanged a glance with Carter. "Unavailable?" The CEO of the company where a woman vanished into thin air was suddenly too busy to talk? Something wasn't right. Ellison sat in the security room, flipping through hours of footage from the night Emily disappeared. Nothing. Every camera facing Vincent Kensington's office was offline. "Security malfunction," the head of operations claimed. "Too convenient." "She never left the building," Ellison muttered, scanning entry logs. And yet, Emily wasn't here. Vincent was the last one in the office that night. He denied seeing her, but the evidence, or lack of it, told a different story. Somewhere in the gaps, in the missing frames, in the silence, was the truth, and Vincent Kensington was hiding it. Emily closes her laptop, rubbing the tension from her temples. The office hums with the quiet clicks of keyboards and murmured conversations. Kensington Financial, the corporate giant where she spends most of her waking hours, isn't her dream, but it pays the bills. She glanced across the office at Vincent Kensington, who was already watching her, smiling, waiting. The restaurant was too intimate. Low lighting, fine wine, and a table tucked into a corner where no one could overhear. Emily stirred her drink, forcing a polite smile. "I appreciate the opportunity, Vincent, but this feels a little unnecessary." Vincent tilted his head, eyes sharp despite his relaxed posture. "I disagree. You've worked hard, Emily. You deserve more than just a secretary's salary." She sat up straighter. "Are you offering me a promotion?" He leaned closer. "I'm offering you more." Emily stiffened. The air shifted, a sudden, suffocating shift in power. Vincent's voice dipped. "You know I value you. Let me take care of you, Emily." Her pulse quickened. Not a job offer. Something else. Emily set down her drink. "Vincent, I'm flattered, but I don't think—" His smile didn't falter, but something in his expression darkened. "Are you sure?" A beat of silence. Emily forced herself to hold his gaze. Yes. The glass in his hand stilled. His jaw tensed for half a second before he gave a slow, empty nod. You might regret that. He said nothing else. No anger, no arguments. Just a long, calculating look. Emily excused herself and walked out of the restaurant, pulse pounding. She didn't look back. She believed it was over. She was wrong. The next morning, Emily stepped into the office, expecting things to be normal. Instead, she felt it immediately. Emails ignored. Work piling up, her assignments reassigned to other employees. Vincent's usual praise? Gone. Instead, he nitpicked. Every report flawed, every task unsatisfactory. A game had begun, one meant to break her. Jason noticed the change first. Emily came home late, drained. I think he's trying to push me out, she admitted, running a hand through her hair. Jason frowned. That doesn't make sense. Just last week you were his favorite employee. His gut twisted. That night, he started digging. A name popped up in old HR complaints, then disappeared, then another, and another. Women who once worked for Vincent Kensington. Women who left suddenly, without warning. Women who never spoke about why. Jason's blood ran cold. Emily sat at her desk trying to log into her email. Access denied. Her hands shook. Her keycard stopped working. She stood, heart pounding. The office felt too quiet, too cold. A single email arrived on her personal phone. We need to discuss your future at Kensington Financial. Tonight. Vincent. Emily closed her eyes. She needed to leave. Now. Emily packed her things with trembling hands. She wouldn't be back. Footsteps. Her breath hitched. She wasn't alone. Vincent stood in the doorway. Emily, he murmured, leaving so soon? Her fingers gripped the edge of her desk. I have nothing else to say. Vincent tilted his head. I do. Emily forced herself to breathe. Stay calm. Get out. Vincent blocked the exit, hands in his pockets. Too casual. Too controlled. I need you to understand, he said softly. This isn't personal. Her stomach twisted. He wasn't angry, he was resigned. She stepped back. Let me go, Vincent, he smiled. I can't. He reached for her arm. Emily yanked away. No, you don't get to do this. His smile vanished. Do what, Emily? His voice, once smooth, cracked, anger leaking through. I made you. I protected you, and you throw it away? She bolted toward the door. He lunged, slamming it shut. You don't walk away from me. Emily shoved him back, knocking over a glass vase. Vincent grabbed her wrist. Too hard. She fought, kicking, pushing. His hand slipped. A hard shove. Her foot missed the ground. A sickening crack. Her head hit the edge of the desk. Silence. Vincent stumbled back, chest heaving. Emily wasn't moving. Blood pooled beneath her. He stared. Blinked. This wasn't happening. His hand shook as he reached out, touched her face. Cold. A ragged breath escaped his throat. Fix this, he whispered. He staggered back, mind racing. No body, no crime. He wiped his hands on his suit, made a call. We have a problem. And just like that, Emily Foster ceased to exist. Vincent stared at Emily's lifeless body. His breath came in shallow, uneven gasps, his mind scrambling for an answer that didn't exist. This wasn't supposed to happen. His hands trembled as he reached for her wrist. No pulse. His stomach twisted. Murder! The word slammed into his brain like a hammer. No, not murder. An accident. But that didn't matter. No one would believe him. He needed a plan. Fast. He grabbed a cloth and wiped the desk, the doorknobs, the glass. Every surface she had touched. Her phone, deleted texts, erased calls. Her blouse, blood-stained from the impact, stuffed into the incinerator. He worked in a blur, heart hammering, mind calculating. If the police came, there could be no sign she was ever here. When he turned back, Emily's body was still there, still real. No amount of cleaning would fix that. Vincent stormed into the security office, fingers flying over the keyboard. Erase. Every camera, every file. The system flickered. The evidence disappeared. He exhaled shakily. It was done. No proof she was here. But then, a chilling realization, IT tech. Backup servers. Tampering like this wouldn't go unnoticed. He had just left a different kind of evidence, his stomach twisted. He wasn't thinking clearly. He needed help. Someone who knew how to clean this up completely. His fingers shook as he dialed the number. A calm voice answered. Talk. Vincent swallowed. I have a problem. There was a long pause. Then, how big? He glanced at Emily's body. It doesn't get bigger than this. Another pause. Then the voice responded. I'll be there in an hour. Keep it quiet. And Vincent? Yes? His voice barely worked. If you've already made mistakes, tell me now. His throat tightened. There were too many to count. Jason rolled over in bed, his phone screen glowing in the darkness. A text from Emily. Something isn't right. If anything happens, it's him. His heart stopped. Jason bolted upright, fingers flying over the keyboard. Emily? Call me. Now. No response. He dialed. Straight to voicemail. A cold wave of dread washed over him. Emily was in trouble. Jason reached Kensington Financial in record time. The parking lot was empty. The building locked. He pressed his hand against the glass door, his breath fogging against it. Inside, dim light. A shadowy room. Something wasn't right. Then, a stain on the carpet. Small, dark, not fully cleaned. His stomach twisted. Blood. Emily had been here. But where was she now? Jason pushed open the door to security. I need to see the footage from tonight. The guard shifted uncomfortably. Can't help you, sir. No footage available. Jason narrowed his eyes. You're telling me every single camera failed tonight? Silence. Jason clenched his jaw. Vincent was here, wasn't he? The guard looked away. Jason's blood ran cold. He was covering for him. Emily was missing, and Vincent was the last one to see her. Jason paced in the police station, fists clenched. A detective leaned forward. So, you're saying Emily Foster is missing? Jason's voice was tight. Not just missing. Something happened to her. The detective's face darkened. We'll open a case, but without a body, it's just that a missing persons case. Jason's jaw tightened. Then I'll find her myself. The news exploded. Young secretary vanishes after late-night shift. Last seen. Kensington Financial. Kensington Financial issued a cold, calculated statement. Emily was a dedicated employee. We hope for her safe return, but she had personal struggles. Jason threw the newspaper across the room. They were blaming her. Vincent's game had begun. Detectives sat across from Vincent, assessing his every movement. You were the last person in the building, Mr. Kensington. What happened? Vincent gave a smooth, practiced nod. I left before Emily did. She seemed fine. A perfect lie. But his calmness felt off, too rehearsed. The detective jotted something down. They weren't buying it. A former employee came forward, then another, women who had worked under Vincent Kensington, women who left abruptly, women who were afraid to speak until now. He did this before. Emily isn't the first. Jason's pulse pounded. They were getting closer, but without Emily's body there was no case. They needed proof. Police searched abandoned lots, dumpsters, waterways. No body. Jason's frustration boiled over. He had help. Someone hid her. Then, a break. A woman calls the tip line. She saw something that night, a black car, a trunk left slightly open. A flash of something, fabric, skin. Jason's heart pounded. This was it. Vincent thought he had won, but Emily was still speaking, and the truth was coming for him. Vincent sat at the polished oak table in the interrogation room, his fingers clasped together as if trying to hold his world from falling apart. Across from him, Detective Monroe slid a folder onto the table, flipping it open with a slow, deliberate motion. Vincent, you said you left the office at 9:30 p.m. that night. Vincent nodded, his voice unwavering. That's right. I went straight home. Monroe tapped the top sheet in the folder. Then explain why your keycard was used at 11:17 p.m. The logs don't lie. Vincent's throat tightened. There must be a mistake. Monroe's smirk didn't reach his eyes. That's what I thought you'd say. Across town, a janitor sat in a small office, nervously rubbing his hands together as he gave his statement. I saw him. He was still in the building after hours. Looked like he was in a hurry, sweating, muttering to himself. Vincent's perfect alibi was beginning to crumble. The call came in late that night. I want to talk. Off the record. Detective Monroe exhaled slowly. Who is this? A woman's voice, sharp but hesitant, replied, I used to work for Vincent Kensington. The next day, she sat in front of the investigation team, fingers curled into fists on her lap. He did this before. She revealed a dark pattern of harassment, coercion, and threats. One by one, names resurfaced, women who had left under mysterious circumstances, some silenced with hush money, others simply vanished. A lawyer slid over a stack of old non-disclosure agreements. These women were paid to stay quiet, but they're ready to talk now. The police had more than just suspicion now, they had history. A detective's radio crackled with urgency. We found something. The scene was an abandoned construction site, a place meant to be erased and rebuilt. Beneath the layers of dirt and debris, the forensic team uncovered a shallow grave. Emily's cold, lifeless form lay buried under Vincent's secrets. Blunt force trauma. No sign of struggle. This wasn't an accident. It was murder, and now there was no way out for Vincent Kensington. Vincent sat in his office for the last time. The walls, once symbols of power, felt like a prison. His hand hovered over a pile of cash. His phone lay beside it, screen cracked from the rage that had overtaken him earlier. They knew he needed to disappear. A one-way ticket, a fake ID, and a car abandoned in a quiet neighborhood. He could still slip through their fingers, or so he thought. Vincent stepped onto the private airstrip, heart pounding, sweat beating down his temple. The jet's engines roared, a promise of freedom just within reach. A voice shattered the illusion. Vincent Kensington, hands where we can see them. Floodlights lit up the tarmac. Red and blue sirens cut through the darkness. He ran. Tires screeched. Officers surged forward. A tackle from behind. His face hit the pavement. The cuffs snapped shut. The once powerful CEO was now just another fugitive in handcuffs. Vincent sat in the interrogation room, silent. Across from him, the prosecutor tapped a stack of evidence. Security footage may be gone, but you weren't careful enough, Vincent. We found her body. We found the weapon. And we have a line of women willing to testify. Vincent stared, his jaw tight. This conversation is over, he muttered. The prosecutor leaned in. You don't get to decide that anymore. Outside, journalists swarmed the courthouse. The case was no longer a corporate scandal. It was a murder trial, and Vincent was the headline. The courtroom buzzed with tension. The jury filed in. A hush fell. Vincent sat, expression blank, unshaken, cold. The judge's voice rang clear. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty on all counts. Gasps, cries, some in relief, others in fury. Vincent blinked. No reaction. He had lost, and yet he remained unmoved. The gavel struck. Vincent Kensington was sentenced to life without parole. Justice was served, but Emily was still gone. Jason stood before Emily's gravestone, a bouquet in hand. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying words he wished he could say to her. I couldn't save you. His voice cracked, but I made sure they remembered. The world moved on, but Emily Foster's story would never be erased. Vincent Kensington used to wake up to the skyline stretching beyond his penthouse windows, the city beneath him, a kingdom at his feet. Now, he wakes up to the clang of metal doors and the suffocating scent of cheap detergent and sweat. His once tailored suits are replaced by a shapeless orange jumpsuit. The power he wielded with a mere phone call has vanished. There are no boardrooms to command, no assistants scrambling to meet his every demand. He is nothing more than a number, a convict lost in a system he once thought beneath him. The guards don't call him sir. The other inmates don't fear his name. The world outside doesn't care if he rots here. Vincent spends his nights staring at the ceiling, but sleep never comes. When he closes his eyes, Emily is there. Her face, pale, lifeless, eyes wide with the terror of those final moments. Her whispered plea, "Please, Vincent, don't." And then, the silence. No amount of power, money, or influence can erase what he's done. He convinced himself it was an accident, that it was her fault for pushing him away. But deep down, he knows the truth. He was never in control. His obsession, his hunger for power, owned him. And now, it has consumed everything. Vincent's name was once spoken with admiration, fear, envy. Now, it's a stain. His company dissolves overnight, investors fleeing the scandal like rats from a sinking ship. The empire he built crumbles to dust. His family erases him. His siblings refuse his calls. His mother won't even look at him in court. To them, he's already dead. Jason rereads Emily's last text every night. Something isn't right. If anything happens, it's him. The words gut him every time. She had reached out, asked for help, and he had been too late. Jason's hands shake as he grips his phone. He has read it so many times, he knows every letter, every space. It is branded into his mind. No matter how many times he replays that night, it always ends the same. He failed her. The apartment still smells like her perfume. Her favorite mug sits on the counter, untouched. Her jacket still hangs by the door, as if she'll walk in any second. Jason hasn't moved anything. He can't. She wasn't supposed to be a memory. She was supposed to be here. Jason kneels before her gravestone, fingers brushing against the cold stone. "I couldn't protect you," he whispers, voice thick with emotion. "But I made sure they remembered you." Her story won't disappear. Neither will his grief. Emily shouldn't have been another statistic, but her case became a rallying cry. Headlines screamed her name. Protesters stood outside Kensington Financial's glass tower, demanding justice. In court, her name wasn't just spoken, it was shouted. The verdict wasn't just for her, it was for every woman who had been silenced before. Emily's law was passed within months. It ensured no corporation could hide behind NDAs, no predator could buy their way out of justice. Her death was a tragedy, but it was also a turning point. Across the country, her story is taught in classrooms, discussed in corporate boardrooms. Jason made sure her face was never forgotten. Her picture hangs in the newsroom where he works now, a silent reminder of why he fights. Because this wasn't just Emily's story. It was a warning. The world moves on, but grief doesn't follow the same timeline. Some wounds never heal, only fade. And Jason, he still hears her voice in his dreams. Vincent thought he loved her, but love doesn't destroy. Love doesn't trap. Love doesn't kill. What he felt wasn't love, it was control, and control always ends in ruin. Emily trusted the wrong man, it cost her everything. Jason trusted the system. It gave him justice, but too late. This wasn't just one crime, it was a cycle that had to be broken. But they would remember Emily Foster as something more. Some betrayals leave scars that never heal, and some obsessions, if left unchecked, turn fatal.